University of Virginia student Hannah Graham today reached the 1-month mark. The suspect, Jesse Matthew, has been charged with abduction. Police are looking to see if there's a connection with previous unsolved cases. Hannah Graham's parents today issued a new statement pleading for information. Let's get some more now. Joining us, the investigative journalist Coy Barefoot. He's in Charlottesville, Virginia. Also, our law enforcement analyst, Tom Fuentes. He's a former assistant director of the FBI. Coy, I know there have been some new developments that you've been looking into. What are you hearing?
Well, the search team has looked at that 8-mile radius around the city of Charlottesville, that really critical zone where the profilers say this is the most likely place where we would find Hannah. They have exhausted that search. The search team is in stand down right now, today and tomorrow, and beginning later this week, they will enter a second phase of the search where they will conduct pointed, specific areas to go back and look at a little bit more in depth. I asked Mark Eggman recently, why haven't we seen dive teams? There is a number of large lakes and ponds and rivers throughout this area, and he told me that we had such clear weather in the first few days of the search, and the helicopters were up above all of those areas of water looking down. And he said, you'd be surprised you can see the entire bodies of water from above on a clear day with no wind. He said, and we didn't see anything that would merit a dive search, but we don't rule that out in the future.
So it's exactly 1 month since she disappeared, Hannah Graham. Do authorities there believe they are any closer to finding her now than they were a month ago?
I have to believe that, from what I have learned with my contacts in law enforcement, they're tired, they are disappointed, but they remain absolutely committed to this effort to keep looking for Hannah, and that will certainly continue. Well,
Tom, there's another young woman who went missing in 2009 in Lynchburg, Virginia, Cassandra Morton. Police are looking into now if there's any connection between the suspect, Jesse Matthew, and her. All these additional cases, how do they impact this overall investigation into what he may or may not have done?
Well, they go back to the beginning of those cases, Wolf, and see whether or not there was forensic evidence that was obtained at the time, but there was no one to compare it to. Now you have a potential suspect to compare it with, and that's why they could reopen many of those cases and try to see what was the evidence at the time, what did they collect, is there any possibility now that they could compare it to Jesse Matthews?
So all these other cases that they're reopening right now, does that help actually in the investigation into whatever happened to Hannah Graham?
Well, you don't know. It potentially could help. Obviously, it's going to require many more resources to do it, but between the Charlottesville, the area police departments, the federal government, as well as the Virginia State Police themselves, they have the resources. They can open up every case of someone that's gone missing in the last 20 years if they have to, just to be sure.
And quickly to you, Coy, with the parents now today issuing a very moving statement appealing for help in finding Hannah. How's the community there reacting?
I can tell you that everybody I talk to, and it's what everyone is talking about, everyone is just such a mix and a slurry of emotions. Most people just can't believe that something like this would be happening in beautiful little Charlottesville. I do want to tell you, Wolf, I spoke moments ago with a man who knows Jesse Matthew very well, and he shared this news with me, that he worked as a bouncer. The gentleman with whom I spoke worked at a bouncer at a restaurant and bar where Jesse Matthew was a regular this past summer, and he told me, he said, Coy, I had to ban him for about 2 months because I was concerned about the safety of the young women in the bar. He said Jesse had a type, blonde, preppy, a university girl, upper middle class, and he would look for the drunkest among them. And I told him, quote, dude, you're going to get yourself in a world of trouble. These girls don't know who they're dealing with, and they don't know your intentions. And he told him, you're not welcome here. You've made too many of the girls uncomfortable, and I can't let you back in here. He finally did let him back in towards the end of the summer because he kept pleading with him. But he said even then he would only come by about 1:30 at night at last call looking for the drunkest girl in the place, and they had to keep an eye on him. And he told me, quote, he always came in looking for a victim.
All right, Coy, we'll continue our investigation, your investigation tomorrow. Thank you very much. Chilling stuff. Just reported by Coy. Thanks very, very much. All week long, CNN is presenting a special series, Roots, Our Journeys Home. It's been a year in the making as CNN